If you live abroad and you're thinking of buying a land or a house in Nigeria, then this video is for you. Because one of the biggest lessons that we've learned, that's myself and my husband, about our country is this. In Nigeria, you have to be your own government. And if you don't understand this before buying a property in Nigeria, you might find yourself in a very difficult situation financially. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Madam Chomzi. I relocated from the UK to Nigeria. I've been in Nigeria for about 7 months, and today I would like to share with you something very important that influenced one of the biggest decisions that we made. That's myself and my husband, which is the reason why we chose not to buy land or house in certain types of estates in Nigeria. And this is not based on theory. This is based on what we've heard and seen about people that bought into these types of estates, where everything is provided for you, water is provided for you, electricity is provided for you, you have facility management provided for you. Everything is centralized. Because if you're used to life in abroad, that's what you expect. You expect systems to be structured, you expect prices to be regulated, you expect accountability. So naturally, you might think, let me buy into an estate where everything is handled for me. But what me and my husband noticed was that this type of setup can be a problem over time. Because the more control you hand over, the less control you have over your life and your finances. We've seen situations where people bought land or houses in these types of estates, and at the beginning everything seemed fine, but over time service charges started increasing, electricity went up, maintenance fees kept rising, and the issues was not just the increase, but the fact that these increases were not clearly explained or controlled. What we have to bear in mind is that in Nigeria, I know people don't like when you say things that they think they are negative. What we have to bear in mind about Nigeria is that people are looking for opportunities to exploit people. And that's the truth. So when you give that amount of control of things that affect you daily, just bear that in mind. You have to bear that in mind. You have to be aware of the fact that a lot of exploitation goes on in Nigeria, and we live in a country where things are not regulated, prices are not regulated. We do not have ombudsman in Nigeria, so you don't have this agent that is going to fight your corner. If you take a complaint to, they're going to take it up to go fight your case. We don't have that in Nigeria. You have to bear that in mind. So you cannot come with the mindset of, because you're coming from a country where they have systems and things are structured. You're coming from a place where I've lived in the UK. Our electricity don't even blink. The light does not even blink. That's how it is. Everything is provided. Water is provided. Electricity is provided for you. Your gas is provided for you. We do not use cylinders in the UK. People use cylinders, let's say if they have like a camping van, or just one small thing, a caravan, that's where you can see like people buying camping gas. We don't have that. People don't use generators. What I'm trying to say, that these things are not common. You don't find people, it's not normal. It's not normal or usual for you to go into a house and people have generator, you start seeing cylinders. We don't have those kind of things in the West. I know about the UK, it's not common. Things there are very, very centralized and very, very structured. You turn on your gas, your guaranteed gas is going to come out as long as you pay your bills anyway. You turn on your electricity, it's there. So our system is so structured, which is of great advantage in the sense that you don't bother yourself. You're sure that once you pay, what you pay, you're going to get. And you get that quality. But the difference here, when you compare to Nigeria, where we don't have system, is that, let me rephrase this. So when you're coming from the West where everything is centralized and things work well, and you're used to that amount of comfort, you can fall for the trap of trying to bring that here in Nigeria, where you're sure that British gas is going to provide electricity, is going to provide you your gas. If you bring that mindset here, you're going to be in trouble. You cannot hand over those kind of things completely to a company. Why? We do not have laws that regulate these people or monitor them. That's the difference. So why that system might look like, oh, it's perfect, it saves you headache, but bear in mind, if you bring that to Nigeria, we do not have things in place, laws and regulations in place to make that system work effectively. So what you get if you try to do that is you have people that want to exploit people, which is the mindset. I've always said it. We live in a society here in Nigeria, and people get offended. This is a dog-eat-dog society. So we don't have people to regulate anything. So today you come, it's 1 naira. Tomorrow you might come, it's 100 naira. And that's how Nigeria is. So can you imagine you've bought a house, you bought the land, you're so happy, and they tell you this service charge is this, and you think, oh, you calculate, oh, I can afford to pay for this, and you buy the land or you buy the house, and you move in. 6 months down the line, it goes from 1,000 to 5,000. And the funny thing about Nigeria is that price increase, you will not even get an explanation of why it's like that. All you'll be hearing is nonsense that don't add up. That's how it is here. So this was one thing that we did discover, myself and my husband, and we made up our mind that we will not buy into certain types of estate. I don't want nobody to budget my pension for me. I want to have control over that. You have to bear in mind that when you're building a house in Nigeria, you're likely building it for retirement too. You might, like me, I might not retire fully in Nigeria. You understand? But I will spend most times, maybe split. That's myself and my husband will split it, UK and Nigeria. So it doesn't make sense. You're not working, so the finances might not be coming in the way it used to. So it doesn't make sense you going to go buy a property where every 6 months they're increasing this, they're increasing that. I want to have control over my finances, especially when you are at that stage of your life, when you are either like you're slowing down or you've retired completely. You don't want that financial pressure. So that's the point I'm trying to make. So what you want is control of your finances. You plan your money, you're sure, and that's the that stability is what you get in the West. That can sit down and say, okay, my electricity I can budget. Oh, my electricity is going to be this, roughly that. Let me tell you how bad Nigeria is. And I'm saying this because when people come on holiday, they think they've seen. When you go on holiday, you don't know anything about that country. You have to spend a bit of time, because on holiday, naturally you go on holiday to spend money, so you're ready, you're happy. There was a time that we came home, me and my husband, we were burning petrol every single day, and it was nothing to us. But it's unsustainable. That lifestyle is unsustainable when you're living in the place. It's very, very unsustainable. You can do that for a month, it's fine, you're not bothered. But when you're going to be living in a place long term, it's not sustainable, that lifestyle. So where we're staying currently in Oka, they say it's band A. We didn't even know. But I remember my husband would top up the electricity. That's when we went back. We came on holiday, went back to the UK. My husband would top up electricity. The next thing, the gate man would call and say, Oga, electricity don't finish. Every time, my husband now told me that he doesn't understand what's going on. We're not in the house, but he doesn't understand why the electricity is going that quickly. So we asked the guy, does he have anything that he's using? And we know he doesn't, but we're like, okay, we asked him. He said he doesn't. So we tried to ask our neighbor. So my husband called our neighbor, and I was sitting beside my husband, so I could hear the conversation. So my husband called my neighbor, was like asking that he doesn't understand that he tops the way the electricity is going very quickly. My neighbor just started laughing. The guy was laughing, and he told my he told my husband that they checked it. He checked it that in a day, and it's not. I heard it's not even up to what he said was. It wasn't even as in full 24 hours. That what you spend, what he was spending was about 20,000 naira in a day for electricity. I was like, what? I screamed because I just did the math. I was like, 20 times 30 days. That's 600,000 naira. And that's a lot of money. I've never paid, I don't know about that people, we've never paid electricity bill 300 pounds. Because 600,000 naira is roughly 300 pounds in the UK. We've never paid 300 pounds for electricity. I'm not talking about gas, for electricity alone in a month. We've never done so in the UK. So what I'm trying to say, you see what I'm trying to say, how your pimp now, we didn't ask for band A, we're put in this band A. And the way Nigeria is, you can't go and tell them, oh, put me in band, please, can you make my own band C? That's the band A. No question, no argument. If you want to fight, you're wasting your time. If you fight too much, they lock you up. So, 600,000 naira for just electricity is a lot of money for electricity. Bearing in mind you have other bills to pay. It's not just electricity. And also bearing in mind the way prices increase. Tomorrow, they can wake up and say, oh, 1 unit will be so amount, and that 600,000 naira will become 1 million. That's the way Nigeria operates. They don't do their increase gradually. It can just double overnight. So, and nothing is going to happen. Nobody regulates that. So you have to bear that in mind. You don't just come and you're so excited. Oh, they're showing this estate, whatever, water, 2-4 electricity, 2-4-7 electricity, 2 this, that. You have to bear that in mind. It must sound very, very enticing because you're coming from a place where all of these are provided for you. You're used to that level of comfort. Even we used to have light very regularly, but now I don't even understand this band A. I'm beginning to question what's the purpose of band A. I don't understand. So in this situation, if you are not living in an estate, let's say we were living in an estate where we don't have an option, that is it. They provide the electricity for you, that is it. You don't have an option. I cannot put on my generator to tell you your generator makes sound. You cannot use your generator, or you cannot dig your borehole. They have to provide water for you. Don't provide anything for me. I'm not interested. And the thing about Nigeria, you will not even get quality. They'll tell you its quality is the best. It's a lie. Compared to what you're used to, the quality is not, they are good. Their best is not good. They will never be good enough for you compared to where you're coming from. And that's the truth. And it's not trying to put Nigeria down, but we have to accept the reality on ground. So don't fall for that trap. If you want that level of comfort that you have in the UK, make sure you're the one providing for yourself. Unless you're going to be in trouble. So you've worked hard, you've saved, you're trying to slow down, or you're retired and you decide to come home. The last thing you want is to find yourself in a situation where your cost or monthly expense is very, very unpredictable. You don't want that. So instead of enjoying your retirement or enjoying being at home, all you're dealing with is stress. You don't want that. There's going to be stress, don't get me, because Nigeria can be very, very unpredictable when it comes to prices. But any way you can reduce it or control it, in these aspects, I believe you can control it. Like if you have solar or you dig your own borehole, you have your water, it's controlled. And those things are very, very crucial. These things affect your life every day. So that aspect, I feel you should not give, that's my opinion, myself and my husband. It should not be left for someone to fully have control over it. We use we have solar, so we use that to supplement, to support the national grid. But I wouldn't advise you to just be on national grid. You're not gonna, you pay and you'll not even be getting what you're paying for. And this is why I say in Nigeria you have to be your own government. Not because systems are unstable, but because you need to be in control of things that affect your life daily. Your electricity, your water, your living environment. Because once you hand that over to someone else, you're now putting yourself in a situation where you're depending on a system that might not work in your favor. And this is exactly what influenced the decision my husband and I made. We realized we don't want to be in a situation where we don't control our essential costs, we don't control our long-term costs, and we are constantly adjusting to changes that we didn't plan for. We didn't want that. So we made the conscious effort to avoid estates that heavily controlled in that way. And honestly, this goes beyond property. It's a general mindset that you have to have for living in Nigeria. You have to be involved, you have to ask questions, you have to know what you're signing up for. Because if you don't, you can easily lose control. So if you're coming from the diaspora and you're thinking of buying a property, you have to come with your eyes open. You have to think long term, not just convenience. You understand me? You don't just think about your comfort for now. You have to think about long term, as in how sustainable that is. Based on what I've said, is it sustainable financially? You're not going to be comfortable in with light when you don't, when you're pressing calculator every day to think how you're going to pay for the bill. So that's what I'm trying to say. You don't want that amount of pressure when you're trying to slow down. So in Nigeria, you have to be your government, because staying in control is what protects your peace and protects your finances. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do consider subscribing. Like, share my videos, and also click on the notification bell so you'll be notified anytime I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you next time. Bye.